Hey everyone, happy Monday. Yeah, happy Monday. So it is May 14th, 2018. I'm Savino. This is Sushi Talks. So, last week I asked the question, what is going on in your mind while you're making music? All right, and whoever's watching this video, if you kind of think about it, hopefully you learn something about yourself and your whole creation process. All right. So this week, I'm gonna ask a new question, which is, what drives you? All right. What drives you to make music? What drives you to be creative? What is the source? All right. So everyone's got their own ambitions. Everyone's got their own plan. Everyone's got their own style of creating. I wouldn't say actually everyone's got their own style. There's a lot of people that are just monkey see, monkey do, just copy, Simon Says kind of deal. But for those who are developing their own style and developing their own sound, I want you to think about what drives you. Is it pure money motivation? Is it, I'm trying to start a business and there's nothing wrong with that? Am I trying to turn this into a profitable business? Or is it the complete opposite of that? Is it, I look at music as purely art, and this is how I express myself, and I don't care if I make money off it or not. There's nothing wrong with that either. It all depends on your goal and what you're striving to be, or what you're striving to achieve. All right? So let's see. If you are more concerned about making money, then you're going to need a product that would appeal to more of the mass audience. You would need to find some type of and this goes back to the whole kind of idea of monkey see, monkey do. You kind of could observe what's going on in the top 40, right? Depending on what genre you make. If it's just pop music, or if it's hip hop, R&B, which is popular right now. You could examine those songs and kind of pick apart the key elements of what makes those songs unique, right? And then you could choose what you do like and what you don't like. And from there, you can create your own sound from that. If you produce it from a point of view of, you're not holding on to any of those ideas, you kind of just absorb them in a sense, and now you're just playing with feeling again. You're not thinking about it. So if you think about, if you're trying to make something that can compete with Justin Bieber or any of that kind of type of music, that tropical house, then you would want to be listening to a lot of those different types of songs. For instance, just one idea, you could be listening to all those kind of songs and just, again, listen to the structure of it. Does it start without drums? Does the song start immediately with drums? Is it just like a filtered pad sound with the voice singing? The voice being an instrument as well. And then does the bass drop 4 measures down from the song start? These are things to think about. Now you also have to think about, well, how do I make money off music? I need fans. So you have to start developing a presence, whether it's online, or it's in your community, or it's in your whole entire state, or your country, wherever you are. You have to kind of start not necessarily just giving people what they want, but what they need. Like, you have to be ahead of the game. A lot of times the songs that we're hearing, they're already old songs. And it's just by the time they get into rotation and record labels decide to start playing songs, it's like a year later. So you have to kind of think, right now we're in 2018, you want to be producing music that's ready for 2020. All right, you want to be ahead of the curve. You want to kind of use your intuition. Like I said, listen to what the music is current right now. Kind of see what the trend is going with the culture in general. And then with that said, you kind of could use your imagination to build a platform off that, you know, kind of. You want to make your music very accessible to people, all right? So they don't have to really look hard for it. It should be right in front of them. So that goes between marketing and having a good business plan and reaching your core audience, all right? So that's if you're focusing more on the money side of things. That's what drives you. If it's to feed your family, for instance, the same thing, you know, that kind of goes back into making money. So let's split it up more into now the exact opposite of that, making money. Now we're going to talk about the art side of it, you know. Perhaps you don't really care about making money, and what you really want to focus on is just expression, how you express yourself, how you currently feel at that moment, and this is just your way of releasing that in a sense, you know. So one thing you could do to really, if that's what drives you, then you could still, in a sense, make money off that. And, you know, it's a little bit more difficult because especially if you have a really unique sound, well, how the hell do you sell something that no one's ever heard of before, you know? So you have to kind of explain yourself what it is, or that's why it has to be exceptional. That way the music could do the talking for itself. You know, I'm a big fan of music that is, not of the status quo or like the norm, you know. Like I'm a big Radiohead fan. I like the Doors. You know, anything that uses cool sounds, I'll be a fan of. You know, that's the stuff that really inspires me. But you know, that's something to think about. You know, if your goal is to create a certain type of feeling, then you should still think about it in a sense of how can I create an audience or catch the audience's attention? You know, how can I, especially in 2018, everything's so visual now. So that's even better if you're the really artistic type. You know, you can't be scared. You got to just do it. You can't be afraid to look dumb. That's for sure. You know what I mean? People are going to judge you no matter what. So don't let that stop you. That is out of your control. All you can do is do what you know you got to do. So if there's anyone that's holding you back in your career, it's yourself. So you got to stop, you know, in a sense, come up with excuses and focus more on how can I use my time wisely? Am I using every single minute the best I possibly can, or am I slacking? Because if you really take a second to evaluate what's been going on in your career, you'll realize a lot of times that you could have done this and done that, but you procrastinate, right? So just make sure you're being honest with yourself, you know. With that said, you have the artist side. You really like more of the expression and being creative versus the business side of things. You know, what drives you. Is it the money? Is it you want to support your family? Now, the idea is finding a medium, you know, a balance between that. Something that, for instance, you're artistically satisfied with. That, you know, that you didn't sell out or whatever, right? You didn't do anything like that. You didn't, you stuck to what makes you, right? But at the same time, you kept it just enough commercial enough that people could immediately have an emotional connection with it, you know, because it sounds like something that they're somewhat familiar with, right? But at the same time, you're giving them something new. And I honestly believe that's kind of, you know, it's like coming up with something no one's ever heard of before is obviously like the definition of creative. You know, it's going to achieve something that no one has been or gotten to a place that no one else got into yet, right? That would probably be the definition of creative. But I feel like society, just from observing, is just that we kind of like people like the idea of giving something that they already have heard before, but doing something just enough to make it brand new. Or at least that's what that might not be what people are into, but that is what the industry, for instance, likes to distribute. And, you know, as listeners, that's what they choose to listen to. So, you know, it's kind of, in that sense, you got to find a balance of what's commercial, but what's something that you're still satisfied with as an artist. All right, so yeah, that's some cool stuff to think about. This whole week, think about it. You know, write it down if you want, or just when you're driving, whatever you're doing, just think about it for a little bit, all right? What drives you? All right, cool. I'm done. I'll talk to you later.